Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Shit I'm 30 with me, your host, Carla Wilmaris. This week on the show, I am blessed to have someone that I wanted to have on here, and you said yes. We're quarantined. Listen, if the quarantine brought anything to me, it was the fact that people are home and they have time. And even though they got time, they don't always have to say yes, but you said yes. So I have the host, one of the hosts of The Breakfast Club, the host of The Breakfast Club. I have host, half of Brilliant Idiots. I have the author of Black Privilege and the author of Shook One. And I'm sure the author of probably about 10 more books that are going to come out because he got time and he got content. Charlamagne the God.
Hey, what's up, Carla? Shit, I'm 40. I'm 40.
Listen,
why am I on this show?
Fuck, I'm 40. Fuck, I'm 40.
Fuck, I'm 40. Oh, that's a good one. When you going to spend that podcast
I already got it, honey. I already bought the domain. Who going to take
it? Okay. That's dope.
Who wants it? I will sell it. I'm one of those that likes to buy domains. And when you think about it, I'll sell it to you.
That's smart.
I almost got waxed with his. I was like, y'all didn't buy your stuff. I was over there at the Breakfast Club and made them buy it. I said, Taylor, you got right now until I buy this. And make Chris pay for it.
Fuck, I'm 40 is good.
Yeah, fuck, I'm 40 is good.
Okay. I gotta think about that.
Well, I'm bringing you on here, one, because I've been following you for a while. And I don't think you ever probably didn't listen to a show that I sent you a year back. And
that's not true.
Did you listen to it?
Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure I gave you feedback on it too, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yes, I did.
I
promise. It was an air check or something.
Oh, no, the air check that was one thing. So do you remember, let's see if you remember back in September 2018, this all like kind of started for me when I quit. I was about to quit corporate and I was like in this limbo when I started my podcast and I flew up to Atlanta. So you probably went. I flew up to Atlanta to go find you. I didn't know anything other than to get to you, I had to find like this big black guy. Hence the fact that he's here now. That wasn't like the way that things took a turn and God had like certain things written for me. So I got to you and you probably don't remember what the hell I said to you that day. Cause I don't remember. I kind of blacked out.
I do actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you remember from that?
You told me that you were trying to get, I don't know if you said podcasting or radio, but I know it was some type of audio media space. And you was just like, yo, you would love to be able to reach out to me and help me give you advice. So
I did. I was like, listen, my mom, my family not fucking with it. I don't have support. I don't live in New York. I'm from just Orlando. And you were like, give me your phone number. Hit me up. And I was like, whoa. That was a big thing for me. And what my expectations of what I thought would be, I didn't know. I was like, oh, I'll have him as a mentor. But then I also just wanted to be in a space to watch you and see what you were doing and where you were going to learn. Because I knew that as a personality, you're one person, but it's that team around you, which I don't think people realize that.
Absolutely.
Like what makes a personality, what makes a star is the team that's around them, pushing them and helping them.
Absolutely.
Without a team, you're nobody. So one, thank you for that opportunity way back then, because it took a whole another turn of events that landed to where I am today.
Now you got a whole boyfriend living with you. One time for wax. All right. You got wax all in love. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that for once in his damn life, for him to actually be in love and to be into someone the way he's into you. So I like that.
Charlotte's crazy. I think that he's seen it, and I saw that I didn't see it in him. No, I didn't. I thought he had like the idea of it, right? Even when we were just friends, but I didn't think that it could be him. I was like, poor him. He's never gonna get a girlfriend. I remember sitting with him and talking to him. I'm like, damn, it's just never gonna happen for you, buddy.
Then
look at who it ends up being. Yep. But I wanted to bring you on because I wanted to talk about your purpose being found in your 30s, like really working so hard. And in your 30s, boom, you kind of made it. So it was finding your purpose in your 30s and kind of like saying fuck certain dreams. So starting with your 30s is, let's go back a little bit and say like, where did it all start? Because I know a lot of my fan base hear me talk about you, but they might not know who you are or like your backstory that got you to where you are now. Because I think people probably think you've been Charlamagne the God and the status that you are since forever. And that's not the case.
No, it's so interesting. I think I found my, I don't know if I found my purpose in my 30s or my 40s. I know I found my position in my 20s. And what I mean by position is radio. When I became an intern in 1998, I realized that the skill set that I had developed to that point, right, which was being a class clown, which was being disruptive, which was being, somebody who would always speak my mind, to where my mother would say to me, you and your daddy don't never know what to say to people. You know what I mean? Like all of that led me to this microphone. And, when I was an intern at Z93 Jams in Charleston, South Carolina, I remember, after starting in the promotions department and, then making my way to the programming department and doing an overnight shift. I remember sitting there one night, like 2:00 in the morning, and I was just studying the game. Like I was listening to all the other radio personalities that were out there, the Angie Martinez's, the Wendy Williams, the Howard Sterns, Doug Banks, Tom Turner, whoever was available online at that time, I was just listening to. And I said, man, if I'm going to do radio, I want to be on that level. I want to be a super jock in that way, right? And I think ultimately that's what I ended up being. But, that's just the position, right? Like being on the radio is just a position. Your purpose, man. I don't feel like I think I truly found my purpose the past couple of years, honestly.
That's crazy because I didn't know what mine was. When I met you, I was in this transition of accounting. So I've been working accounting. I graduated. My dad had just passed away. And my family was just like going to shit. My family was like, that's Spanish. Keep everything in house. I was loud. I was a class clown, but I was also a girl. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit different. So from me watching you for so many years, I think I'm a lot younger than you. Fuck that shit. You're old. Being that much younger, you resonated a lot with me. I'm like a dude. So Wax would tell me when we first, he's like, you're like a nigga. We never saw each other that way because I've been around a lot of guys. So I would see you or a Howard Stern and you guys could be yourselves. But it was cool because you had a penis. But it would come to me and I would speak my mind and I would say what I would thought. And I'm like, well, I will have my issues with fat people. I will have my issues with ignorant people. I would be too opinionated, which is why I usually have my shirt that says unapologetically opinionated. I would get in trouble for it because I'm a girl. When I wanted to get out my marriage, I was young. I was 17 years old. And then I'm 25. I'm a completely different person. That you can't do that. So you were able to just move away from or just keep going and be you without getting as much slack or being allowed to be you. Even though some people didn't like it.
Well, that's kind of true, but I also got fired 4 times on this journey. You know what I'm saying? So I got fired from 4 different radio stations. They never told me I got fired for my behavior per se, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I was always outspoken, and I think that I was also willing to not compromise. You know what I'm saying? Because, you get fired one time, you like, well, damn, maybe I should switch it up. It's like, nah, I can't. I really don't know how to do anything else. This is who I am. I am genuinely being me. So you get fired a second time, you like, fuck. like, what am I supposed to do now? But, after that second firing, you kind of feel a little bulletproof because you realize that in radio, you will always be able to get another job somewhere if you're actually talented, if you're actually good. So I think that the beautiful thing about the Breakfast Club, after getting fired from, radio for the 4th time, getting fired from Philly after doing my own morning show, when they brought me in to the Breakfast Club, they knew exactly what Charlamagne was about. Right. So much so that when, Cadillac Jack and G-Spin, my guys, went to Envy, who was already working at Power 105.1, and was like, yo, what you think about this morning show? You, Charlamagne, Angela Yee. His first reaction was like, hell no, I'm not doing no mornings with Charlamagne. That dude is crazy. He gets fired, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to be working here. And he says something that gets us all fired. And then, so, it was a risk, but it was a risk that they were willing to take. And, they always say with great risk comes great reward, right? So, damn near 10 years later.
Was there a risk for you at any point? What did you risk?
I mean, you know what? I started being a risk. No, you know what? Okay, that's a great question. I'm sitting there trying to think about it. Did I ever feel like there was a risk? I think that once you have kids, like when my first daughter was born, you second guess things. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, damn, I gotta make ends meet. Especially the 4th time I got fired was crazy because the 3rd time I got fired, my daughter had been born that June. I got fired that November. And so that was a blessing in disguise because I was able to be at home with my daughter. Right. You know what I'm saying? While my wife was going to work. But the last time I got fired was when I got fired from Philadelphia. And like that was crazy because literally the day I got fired, we were supposed to move into our new townhouse in Philly. Like I was living in Jersey, but I would commute to work every morning. So I would drive like an hour and a half to Philadelphia every day, me and my homegirl, Sasha Katie. And it's like, I had all my clothes and stuff in the car. Me and my wife already had started to look at schools and everything. and then I get fired.
Shit.
So it's like, damn, you know what I mean? So now we can't pay rent. We got to go live with her grandmother in Brooklyn for a couple of weeks. And then we all just drove home to South Carolina. So, you know, being, how old was I? 31 at the time, 31, 32 years old. I don't remember. But being that age and being back at home, living with my mom, with a 2-year-old daughter, and collecting unemployment checks, that shit did not feel good at all. So in that moment, it felt like, man, yeah, I can't put myself back in this position again. So when I started the Breakfast Club in New York, I could do one or two things. I could play it safe, right? And try to keep this job. I could say, fuck it. Like I always was saying. You know what I'm saying? And just be myself. And that's what I did. You know what I mean? That's honestly what I did.
There's a blessing in disguise, I think, in firings. Because I remember I got fired from this one job that I just knew it was it. And I had a vacation for my birthday 3 weeks later. No, that company went out of business. And 3 weeks later, I had a vacation. They didn't pay us for 3 weeks. It was a big law firm. That's crazy. But I got fired from them, and it was a blessing because I got an even better job. And then after that, I'm working at another job and got fired. And I was just stressed. And my dad is like looking at me like, why are you stressed? And it was a blessing. Those last 2 months, I went back to school, and I was spending those last 2 months on my dad's porch. Because if I do it here at home, I would go to sleep, like watch TV or whatever. So those 2 months, I spent so much time with him. He passed away right afterwards. So I never knew how many things were coming behind those firings. And then now this quarantine, I think people are like, what's the purpose of this? What can it be? And it's just like a firing. People are getting laid off everywhere. And when you're fired and your back's against the corner, and when you said kids, I asked you what was your risk, because my risk has been my kid. I'm a single mom, you know? So I have a 14-year-old that, thank God, now I was like, I gotta take this risk now and tell her to eat some ramen for a little bit just in case.
Absolutely.
You know, she knows how to make a sandwich, and it's just, there's that risk. So you took it when I'm thinking leaving your wife behind probably, and maybe she had to work sometimes to take care of your kids. It's like, am I gonna be able to put food on the table? I struggle with that to this day. And that has pushed me even harder to work on this podcast, to work on my business, to coming out of my most profitable month yet, you know, in April during a quarantine.
Absolutely. You know, that I think this is a transition period. You know, it's like being in a cocoon, and some people going to come out butterflies. Some people are not going to come out at all.
Right.
You know, and I think that people got to be aware of that shift. You know, there is a shift happening. There's a shift in energy happening. There's a shift in consciousness happening. You know what I mean? I feel like this is a great awakening, so to speak. You know, the veil has kind of been lifted off America.
It has to do with your mindset, though. You have to set your mindset to that, and especially in your 30s. The point of the show is like getting rid of expectations of where you should be in your 30s by society. Society tells me that by 30, you got to be married. You got to have the white picket fence. You have to have that good corporate job, especially for women. Or men feel like by this time I should be able to take care of my family. I should have it all done. But are you going towards your purpose? Are you working with your passion? Your passion brings money eventually.
Biggie fucked me up with my 30s, because Biggie had a rap. Biggie had a bar where Biggie said, being broke at 30 give a nigga the chills. So it's like, for me, I just did not want to be broke at 30. And guess what? I was broke at 30.
Broke as hell.
You know what I mean? So it was like, damn, that shit was frustrating. Like, I remember when I got the job for the Breakfast Club, and I drove from Mounts Corner, South Carolina to New York. I remember my alternator giving out when I was in Baltimore in the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m.
Shit.
I had to pull over at like some seedy ass crackhead motel. I ain't had no money. My mom gave me her credit card before I left. My mother gave me her credit card before I left, just so I can, like, you know, put some stuff on like I get a hotel when I'm in New York, whatever it was. And so that's what I had to do. And I had to put the money for the alternator on her credit card, man. That shit was so crazy. Like, I had to be to New York at a certain time. So I was driving up there that night to get there the night before, so I could just be there and be ready to go.
You left just in time.
Man, and then I ended up freaking getting the alternator broke in Baltimore. So I had to get up, drop that shit off early in the morning. That shit was done in a couple hours, and then I made it to New York by like 4 or 5 o'clock that afternoon.
So you're finding now that in your 30s, I want to stress that, because I feel like people see your journey afterwards, and they're like, where you are now, where you're at now, and they don't know where you were at before. And now I've been able to, you're so outspoken, which I love. And I get in trouble for sharing too much all the time. You talk too much. You can't hold water. Like I talk too much. but it's because I know someone else out there is going through what I'm going through. So when you were speaking about your experiences back in the day, I was listening to that. So if it helped me to keep going, if I speak on it now, maybe someone else right now, 27, 28, 29, maybe even 30, can go with what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
So now that they're looking at where they don't see the hard work behind it, I think now with like, hearing stories from Wax even more and on the back end, I'm like, this shit wasn't easy for y'all. This shit wasn't easy for you.
Nah, we've been doing this. Like, it's so funny. Like, the same shit me and Wax do now, we've been doing since 2002. And it used to be crazier because like that's when we used to like really travel. So we would, when I say travel, I mean like travel through South Carolina. So we would be like in these hole in the wall clubs, you know what I mean, to get this couple $100 for hosting.
Travel wasn't like you weren't home. You were sacrificing your family for some money.
Always, like never. Like, I mean, and it was easier back then because I didn't have a kid, you know what I'm saying? I had my now wife, of course, but like she was busy in college, you know what I mean? So it's just like we were all working towards different things, but like you talk about it wasn't easy. It doesn't feel that way when you're going through it. When you look back on it, you're like, what the fuck?
How did I do it?
How did I do that? How did I do that? Stay sane, not go crazy. People ask me all the time, they be like, well, what made you not give up? I honestly didn't give up because I didn't have no plan B, right? So it's just like, what else? When you say give up, what does that even look like?
Right.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Go become an alcoholic, smoke crack? Like, to me, that's giving up. Becoming an alcoholic, smoking crack, like what? Like that is giving up. Like, what does giving up look like? Like, all I'm trying to do
is
sitting
at home and just, I think settling is giving up too. You're going, I'm just going to sit in this 9 to 5. Like, I remember sitting at my desk, and I think we talked about it when I went on Brilliant Idiots, and you're like, what does that feel? And I had this feeling of, I couldn't breathe. I'm sitting at this desk, and it's like, man, one more day, as you look out that window, it's like, I'm not white, so I'm not that suicidal. Not that people clearly don't do it. But, you see me talking about like these accountants. I'm around all these white people, and they talk about all the time, like, I just don't want to be here anymore. And I'm looking at her like, I get it. I'm uncomfortable, and I had to do something with that feeling of uncomfortable. And I know people that are probably listening now in their 30s are like, I know what that uncomfortable feeling means. You don't belong there. Go for it.
That's a fact.
Like, don't settle. If I would have settled, I don't know where I'd be right now. I'd be so miserable.
That's what you got to lean into. You got to lean into that uncomfortable feeling.
Yes.
Right. Whenever you feel uncomfortable about something, that something is either not supposed to be around you or you're not supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, when you'll get that. I've had feelings literally. Wax will tell you, I'm sitting around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, yo, I'm going to New York. Straight up. Like, oh, we out. We going to New York. Like, I'm going to New York. I got to go to New York. Something is telling me to be in New York. Like, and that's literally how I ended up on Breakfast Club. Like, just listening to my instinct and taking those risks and driving up to New York and staying in a hotel for a couple of days and texting people like, yo, I'm here. Yo, somebody like G-Spin, like, yo, come by the radio station.
Yo, that's how I got to Atlanta. I was at work one day. I saw you post that you were going to be in Atlanta. I'm sitting there. I got a feeling. I booked a flight leaving that morning to Atlanta and that night coming back. I didn't take anything but a purse. And I said, I just got to make it there. I got to find this guy. Once I see him, I know you'll be around. It's just, it'll take me one phone call. When I left to New York for the summer, I was uncomfortable. My therapist, I had started therapy like heavy. I needed to work on myself. And my therapist was like, can you go to New York? I'm like, I want to. I kept coming back. I was going every month and coming back and forth. And I was just feeling really uncomfortable every time I came back home. She goes, why don't you go? And I hit you up and I said, listen, I'm gonna come to New York. If I come to New York, can I just stop? I just want to watch. I want to meet the people. Like, I'm gonna let you do your, I'm gonna watch, but I'm gonna find out and learn who's around you. And that's when I met like Dwayne. Someone like Dwayne now, I can literally call and say, Dwayne, I need help. Or he'll be like, how do you do this? Like, build relationships. I had to take that risk. If I didn't go to Atlanta, I didn't know what was gonna happen.
That's very smart. You said that like twice already, and I don't know if people pick up on that, but it's like, man, sometimes when you get the chance or the opportunity to be in a room with somebody, pay attention to who's around that person. You know what I'm saying? Because that particular person may not have the energy or the time to give to you that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. But the people around him, you can get just as much game, get just as much jewels, and then eventually that person will still see you around because you around his circle, and his circle is like, has co-signed you. Right. So now you find yourself getting even more game from the person you originally, reached out to. So it's just like, that's something that I don't think a lot of people do. A lot of people just want to get next to that one individual, but it's a whole team.
It's a huge team. I say it all the time because when I came back home and when your big mouth let us out on Brilliant Idiots, because I didn't want nobody to know, we were trying to keep it on the low. It had been a couple of months. My fear was that they would think that this was going on for a while when it wasn't. It was a situation during the recording that Dwayne happened to come. And he did it for me. Dwayne was like, yo, this is dope. I like what you're doing. Made a relationship with him. Then I made a relationship with Chris. Then it was so many different relationships that allowed me to the point where I was a Brilliant Idiots because learning the boards. Mm-hmm. And I tell everyone, it wasn't planned for me to be there. It just so happened that God somehow made it so your guest didn't show up. And you just looked up and said, Carla and Mandy are here. Let's go. She literally was there with me that day. She had just quit. I said, come learn the boards with me. And that's how that happened. It wasn't planned for me. My number one goal was to be on your show when I went to New York. And it happened 2 weeks before I came back home.
Wow.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. And I think that you have to believe in God's divine timing. And you have to believe in God's divine positioning. That's why I don't question anything. You know what I mean? Right. Certain places that I end up, certain people that I end up around, I just want to figure out why I'm here.
Right.
I know I'm here for a reason. I just don't know exactly what it is, So I just like to stick around long enough to figure out, okay, this is why I was in this position. Or this is why I met this person.
What's your purpose? You said you just found your purpose in your 40s.
Yeah, okay, let me walk that back a little bit. I found my purpose a long time ago, meaning that I realized that my purpose was service to others, right? So I always knew that I was here to serve the needs of the public. I'm a conduit, right? Like I'm here to just be a vessel, you know what I'm saying? And but for me personally, the past 2 years, my personal service has been, just trying to get brothers to be as mentally healthy as possible. You know what I'm saying? Encouraging brothers to practice, mindfulness, encouraging brothers to like dig deeper when it comes to their spirituality. I think that if men are the foundation of the family, the way that they always say we are, that foundation has to be strong. And that foundation isn't strong if we're not mentally, emotionally, and spiritually where we need to be, So for me, going to therapy and just, peeling back the layers of myself and things that I've been through, I've been able to convey those messages, to a community and to a generation that I don't know if they were necessarily receptive to that message before. And, the biggest, most fulfilling thing that I get is when people come up to me and they go, yo, Charlamagne, I started going to therapy because of you. Women come up to me and they be like, yo, my boyfriend started going to therapy, or my husband started going to therapy because he hear you talk about it. So, that has been, that is what I think my ultimate purpose is.
Did you hit a rock bottom to get there? Like, what made you start? I know I started heavy. I've had anger management all my life. It's funny. I'll probably tell you the story later. Just as soon as Wax got here this time, first week I got served with battery papers and he was like, this is great. You know him. Oh, this is amazing.
When recently?
Yeah, it was a 2-year-old thing. It got dropped. Shout out to James Smith for that amazing criminal attorney that I've had here on the show. And I had to call. I said, I ain't going to jail. This is some bullshit. Self-defense and racist shit. It really was though.
You beat somebody up?
3 white girls.
You beat up 3 white girls.
And I learned, and moral of the story, just don't put your hand on white women. They call the cops every time.
Was one of them named Karen?
No.
If one of them was named Karen, you definitely was in for some problems.
Actually, it started with a K though. It's very close.
Wow.
It's very close.
So, and you in Florida too?
Yeah.
You lucky they didn't shoot you.
No, they lucky I didn't shoot.
That too.
Yeah, it would have been me first.
Damn.
But that all got dropped. It was definitely, they deserved anything that happened that day.
You got to tell me this story. So what happened? What happened? Can you talk about it?
I think so. James said the DA dropped it. So the prosecutor just dropped it. So basically what happened was I went to a bachelorette party. It was a girl that I worked with. And I was cool with her, but I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come. But I have my daughter. It was at a SeaWorld pool. So I'm like, it's not that big. It was a SeaWorld hotel. So my daughter comes through. We're hanging out. Then I went to, there were bloggers. And this is at the time when I was like, I don't know, going from blogging to podcasting. Long story short, they had a butler, bunch of white girls. They had a butler, black guy. Mm-hmm. So he's serving whatever. I was like, me and him were like, cool. We're like, it's just a lot of white girls. So we're talking. He left and he had come back and he had something to drink. They were drinking champagne. I didn't want to drink champagne. So he said he had some drinks in the car. So I was like, cool, bring the car around because my daughter's here. So he brings the car. This story Wax hates it because he's like, you were in a car with a guy. We weren't even together. He's already getting mad. He's like, I hate any guy you ever sat with. So he brought the car over close. My daughter passed me my cup. I'm drinking in the car, like right outside the pool, whatever, so I can watch her. Then these girls were already mad because I wouldn't take pictures with them. I wouldn't do what they wanted to do. I'm like, that's just not me, y'all. I don't sit here and take these little bloggy ass pictures. I don't even like pictures like that, like not posy pictures. I'm not a model. So some white girl comes to the door, come out and knocks on the door, and they were like, we're not here to babysit your daughter for you to be here sucking dick.
What?
Bitch, what? Who are you? I don't even know you like that. Who are you talking to? So I just told the door, like, listen, I'm going to head out. I'm just get out of this car before something gets worse. So she comes around. Then the other two other girls from inside bring my daughter around. And I look at my daughter. I was like, Ayana, yo, let's go. So Ayana looks at me. She's like, but mommy, I want to talk to you. I'm like, okay. She says she wants to talk to you, and you need to talk to her in front of us. I said, listen, I don't know where y'all come from. That's not how I do things. I said, Ayana, let's go. So they hold Ayana again. And I'm like, Ayana, she's like, mommy, I just want to talk to you. I said, I don't want to talk to you in front of nobody. Get your let's go. You don't tell me when the fuck to talk to you. But I tell you when I talk to you. So when I went to go get Ayana, they grabbed my daughter and pulled her back.
No, Karens.
Fucking Karens. So I told them not to. So when I walk over, I guess the girl, they were drunk, obviously, and white. So combined, it's not a good mix. Right. And one of the girls starts going, my father did this to me and you're not going to do this to her. And I'm looking like, the fuck, you having a flashback, bitch? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. So my girl moved. So when I went to like move her to get Ayana, she got in the way. And I was like, well, that you in the way of me and my daughter. I feel threatened. I don't know what you're going to do. So we going to fight.
Absolutely.
So the girl's a little tall. She got to go to the ground. I grew up fighting. My father raised me like a boy, and I had to fight. I had to fight for everybody. So I've been fighting since I can remember. So I had her down. So then the other girl tried to get in, some fat bitch. She had to go down too. Then the other one, she had to go down too. I look up. Ayana was calling the cops. They had Ayana calling the cops from some phone. I just remember looking up while I'm on the ground, seeing Ayana with the phone. I was like, oh, hell no.
And now you got to beat up your daughter.
Oh, she got her ass whooped in the car. When I tell you, first of all, I had to run to the car and get in. So when I'm pulling out, probably like 70 miles an hour out of that parking lot, I see like 6 cop cars coming in. They had already like started calling 911. So as soon as I left, I didn't even get home when I stopped that car and beat the shit out of her. Don't you ever listen to no white motherfucker before me.
That's right.
Crazy as hell.
That's right.
They don't care about you. They don't care about you. These women called DCF, said that I was stomping my daughter's head to the ground and that this is not the first time they've seen this. They sent DCF with a translator because I'm from another country and I don't speak English very well.
What?
Yes.
So and then they're treating you like an immigrant.
Like an immigrant. Yeah. And I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a U.S. citizen. So what's that? So this is just the things that I've had my issues with white people for a very long time because it's not the first time it happens to me. And sometimes people are like, oh, you're racist. I'm not racist. I've just been through it and I know what they can do. I know what they can do.
We've all had those experiences with white people.
So recently, which is crazy, the social worker that was sent to my house found my podcast on Spotify and I had a DM from her, no lie, a month ago. And she messaged me. She's like, I didn't know where I knew you from, but, I'm so glad I found you. I want to let you know that I'm so sorry. I no longer work for DCF, but that was like a fucked up situation, blah, 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 blah. Then when Wax gets here a couple of weeks ago, 2 years later, I get papers from the DA for court that they're going for it. So that's when I called the attorney. I said, listen, this is bullshit. Like, I know exactly what happened. They called that butler's job and got him fired, said that they caught him having sex and that they were telling him not to leave. It was 9 white women and he wouldn't leave. What? Like, what are y'all doing? And this is real. They think that this happens on the Shade Room and on NBC, or people just talk. It's real.
They didn't have no cameras in the lobby when you got
We tried to get cameras because I put somebody to get nothing. There was nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, we didn't have
anything. At least the charges got dropped.
They got dropped. Like, they wanted the medical. One girl had a rib broken. The other one, it was her nose. Like, they went to the hospital. I think they wanted the medical bills paid. But you don't want no problems. Like, leave me alone.
Now I know why Wax scared of you. And you got a gun too? Damn.
He's not scared of me.
No, he's definitely scared of you.
No, he's obedient.
Wow. That's a good word for it. Listen, I'm obedient to my wife as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with a man being obedient to his wife.
Listen, I'm doing it for him. I've never done this shit before. I've been married. I've been in long-term relationships, but I never respected a man. I was just like, I was the man. I had the pants. You don't tell me what to do. Like, I'm going out, I'm drinking, none of that. So there was a question that that they asked me. It was like shifting over to like the kids situation, because this is why that happened. And I love the fact that you have 3 daughters. It's like, shit, you have daughters. that's hard, especially for a man with your background. If your daughters wanted to be like entrepreneurs, would you fund, now that you're where you are, and I'm thinking back to like who my dad was with me, would you fund whatever their dreams are, or would you make them work as hard as you had to work?
No, I mean both. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a healthy combination of both, right? Like you want them to work towards whatever it is that they want to do. If they have a dream and they're working towards that dream, of course I'm going to help fund it. You know what I mean? Like my motto is be the adult you needed when you were a child. And I treat everything like that. Of course, I treat my friends like that. I treat people that I meet in the street like that. So of course I'm gonna treat my daughters like that. I was talking to my daughter the other day because she's been working on this book for like the past year, and I told her, I said, "Yo, you're 11 years old. You read a lot of books. You know what young adults are into. So if she won't let me read what she's writing. I'm like, yo, if you finish this book, if it's good, it's a great chance I can get it put out. You know what I mean? I got a book imprint coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. I'm like, yo, you got the opportunity to make your own money. You take that, put that in a trust fund somewhere and mind your business for the next, however many years. So it's just like, yeah, I definitely not only encourage her because she's 11, mother to like 4 and 1, so they're still young, but you definitely encourage her to find something that she loves, work towards it. And yeah, I'm definitely going to assist if I need to.
Because I'm stuck right here and I sheltered mine too much. And I have this conversation like waxes. When I tell you like this relationship for me has been a complete blessing, I guess it's for the both of us, like what has brought. So she's about to be 15. Boy, oh boy, this shit is hard, child. It's hard. The shit that they're seeing. And I sheltered her. I parented with guilt. And like, so I would get angry, feel guilty for her not having her dad and my dad passing away, like trying to like give her everything I wanted to give her. And then being pissed the fuck off whenever she's being lazy and not doing what she got to do. But then I give her the stuff instead because I'm guilty again. And then it's a vicious cycle that I've been doing with her that I have to like change and go through therapy for. But how do you find that balance of not sheltering them too much? Because now mine is like, I decided to put her in a public high school, like with people that look like her. I fucked up and I had her in a middle school with people that didn't look like her. So now I'm like, you're going to the black school. Go over there. And she's seeing some wild shit. So I'm like, how do you balance not sheltering her too much? Because I don't know what to do.
I think one of the first things we have to do is however you were raised, you kind of have to let that go. Meaning like you don't want to raise your child the way your parents necessarily raised you. Like, because you can learn from their examples, right? You could take the good that they gave you, but all the bad you can leave over there. And I think a lot of times, I remember the first time, like my daughter's 11, so I think I spanked my daughter twice. And I said to myself,
that's it?
Yeah, because I was like, I just felt stupid. Like, why the hell am I spanking her? She's a kid. First of all, like my daughter, like I think I spanked her one time because she cursed. She was like 4. She don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? She heard the word somewhere, maybe from me, who knows? And she repeated it. So it's like, why am I spanking her for not knowing any better? So I feel like that was a conversation. And the only reason I realized I was spanking her is because that's how I used to get disciplined. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the same thing when it comes to like sheltering your kids. Like I don't keep my daughter away from everything. I know I keep her off social media just because I feel like these shit is just addictive. These tablets and these phones and like I just don't want her brain. I want her brain to develop in a certain way to where she knows when she can get on, social media for a little while and then back off, but then still be able to read a book. Like I just want her brain to develop in a certain way. So it's just like, I think that you just have to give them enough. And also I say this to my wife all the time. If my daughters aren't supposed to be seeing it, then maybe I shouldn't be seeing it either. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's too much for my daughter, I mean, then it might be too much for me. That's the way I think so. I think so. Cause I mean, what are we watching? Like I know
you don't watch porn.
Definitely not watching porn in front of her.
No,
you know I mean?
You mean in front of her?
Yeah. Like, I mean, porn is different, right? Cause porn is, I'm not having, like, that's a weird thing to be sitting around doing with your child.
Oh, no, I'm thinking that if you won't watch something on your own, if she shouldn't be watching it. You mean if when you guys are together?
Yeah, it depends though. Like the other day I was watching Dave, right? The show on FX, and Lil Dicky opens the show. He's got this whole thing about being in jail and, so he didn't want to get raped, so he want to give willing head and this and that. And I'm like,
Whoa.
that's too much. That's too much to explain.
Okay.
To my 11-year-old at this present time.
Hell yeah.
Like there's no need for like that information does nothing for her. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But I'm not, if I'm sitting around watching like Minister Society, you know what I'm saying? Or Training Day, like stuff like that, I'm not afraid of having her in the room.
Gotcha. All right. I didn't understand if it was like, if she shouldn't be watching it, you're not going to watch it at all, like ever. Now, I just says when she's around. Yeah. Because I remember we talked about Euphoria before.
She can't watch Euphoria.
Yo, that shit is wild.
Yeah, she can't watch Euphoria. And it's crazy because that's real life, right? A lot of the stuff that happens in Euphoria. And Euphoria is so tricky because it stars people that they like.
Right.
So if I'm watching HBO and she comes in the room, I got to pause. She's like, oh, that's Zendaya. Yeah, but you can't watch this.
I was uncomfortable watching Euphoria. I had to watch it after I left your show. It's like, let me watch what this is. And I was so uncomfortable. I'm not one.
Yeah, and influence is important, right? Like, so it's like I may let her watch that and try to explain to her, like, yo, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. But she got those thoughts in her head now.
Right.
So influence, those things can influence you sometimes more than your parents. So
right.
Like, nah, I can't let her watch Euphoria. And I know it sounds crazy to say like, oh, Minister Society is on, but it's not like, you know, I'm watching the dirty version of Minister Society. If I'm watching BET flipping channels and Menace is on,
right,
I can let her watch Menace, and I can explain to her what Menace is about. I can explain to her what Boys in the Hood is about.
Right.
But Euphoria, I don't even know what that shit is about. You know,
I don't know. I think I know there's a lot of sexually liberated people, and they're like, oh, sex. But to me, there's a certain age for it. Yeah, she's my daughter's gonna find it. I know she's actually found it. And I had to have those conversations with her, but I'm like, there's no need to be. We have like literally the words I say to my daughter. I'm like, the way I talk to her is very raw. I'm like, listen, you got so many years to fuck, girl. I'm tired of it, and I'm only 33. You know, so I'm like, so she looks at me, and I'm like, you got time, and straight up at 14, I'm like, you're in high school now. I'm gonna tell you straight. They're gonna tell you they love you. They're going to want to not have sex. You're gonna fuck you, and then you're gonna be the girl with the nasty pussy at school. Then they're gonna say you stink. They're going to talk about you because they probably they don't know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing. Now you don't got ran through by your senior year, and you'll never get rid of that. I still think back to the hoes in high school, and now we're in our 30s, and I'm still thinking that was that hoe from school. And
you can't get rid of what happened to that hoe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, what happened to that hoe?
Just like that.
Like, she in the church now. She's a pastor's wife.
And then you're like, woof, how'd that happen? That doesn't go away, and it's just, it happens. It happens. So I'm very raw with her. So you still got a couple years to go. But I just entered high school, and it's been really, really, really tough for me. Like, really. I
mean, that's why I thank God for my wife. My wife is a straight shooter. You know, my wife is from the same place that I'm from. But my wife, didn't live the life I lived. You know, she's from where I'm from in Moncks Corner, but she wasn't selling drugs and all of that stuff like that. My wife went to college, so my wife has a great balance of like the hood and the educated shit. So she already they have a relationship. Like I have a relationship with my daughter too, but her and my wife, they talk. Like my wife talks to her like she talks to her homegirls. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's good. I think that's the kind of parent you actually need to be.
Yeah. I try as hard as I can. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. I just sent her now, like she never sees her dad, so I was like, you gotta go with your dad. Like it or not. She called here crying. Like she thought Wax was gonna save her. Where's Wax? He's not gonna save you. Like it's not gonna happen. You have to spend time over there whether you want to or not. She can get away with stuff here because I'm working all day long. Over there, she can't get away with nothing. The house is smaller. There's only one computer. Nope, you got to go. And I want you to spend time with your father. And him and I talked about that all the time because of his situation. It's like, I want women to know, and I say this, I try to say almost every episode, don't ever keep a father away from the child. Doesn't matter what y'all got going on. Your personal issues, I don't like my baby daddy, my ex-husband. Like, it is what it is. He don't pay me child support, but you're going to see your daughter. Regardless of what's going on.
That's why men gotta watch who they nut in, and women gotta watch who they let nut in them.
Yeah, for sure. I was young as hell, so I also tell her, I'm like, I tell her she's a pre-cum baby, and I have to explain that to her.
You're a pre-cum baby.
She is. I explained that to her just like that. I was like, do you know what pre-cum is? Blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you that if you pull out, because she's heard the whole pull out thing. I'm like, that's bullshit. I said, breathe. She was like, I said, you see that? Pre-cum. You're breathing, motherfucker. Like it's really happened. So it's possible. Don't play with sex. Like you got plenty of time to have sex. Don't do it no more.
Yeah, I feel the same way with 3 daughters. You know, that's something that every man has to come to terms with, right? Like eventually, yeah, your daughter is gonna be sexually attracted to somebody, and
Ugh.
yes, somebody is gonna have sex with your daughter. You know what I mean? Yes, your daughter is going to be doing everything to some other guy that somebody's daughter is doing to you. You just hope that she waits as long as possible, and you hope that the guy is somebody that she ends up with for the rest of her life. That's why I try to be the example. Like me and my wife been together 23 years. Right. So it's good to be able to tell my daughter those stories. You know what I'm saying? It's good that my daughter knows we're both from the same place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we really came up together in a real way. So maybe that'll stick in her mind. Like, yo, that's the kind of relationship that I want.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to show her now. I think it took me a while to figure out, so my dad wasn't the best example as a husband, amazing father. Like we were so close, and who he was as a father to me is what I want. But I wasn't showing her in my examples what love was like. So I was showing her shitty love. Me being disrespectful, dealing with dudes that weren't worth it. So when he comes around, I'm telling him, I have to show her what true love and respect is. Like, you have to respect me. You have to respect her. We have to respect this household. We have to respect this relationship, because I'm starting a little late. We're starting at 14. I need her to see. I want whatever little boy, ugly ass little Rico that she liked this year that broke up with her and cheated on her. Oh man, we had to go through that one recently. She got cheated on and everything. I want her to be like, if he's not treating me the way Wax is treating mommy, I don't want it.
That's a fact. And that's exactly how they should look at it. They should look at, I tell my daughter all the time, like, if a guy, when you get older, any man that's not treating you the way your daddy treated you, you don't need to be around him.
Right.
Period. And that helps her keep her bar high too, right? Not just as far as like what she's looking for in a man, as far as like the way the man treats her. Yo, on every other level too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Provide, be there.
Yeah, word up. Absolutely. That's what a man is supposed to do.
And I teach her on my end, make your own money too. There's no man going to take care of me. Like, yes, I know that if anything were to happen to me, he could provide, but I want him to also know that if anything were to happen to him, I could provide. Yeah, so I got to take care of myself. And she got to take care of herself too.
That's why I spoil the fuck out of my daughters.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know if I necessarily call it spoiling. It's just that, yes, my daughter is 11 and she's been to Africa. Yes, my daughter is 11 and she.
My daddy took me everywhere.
My daughter got more stamps on her passport than I had ever. I didn't get on a plane till I was 21 years old. Like, my daughter flies all the time.
I was almost born. My mom's had contractions on the plane. I was on my first plane ride. I think it was not even 2 weeks in.
Wow.
And I didn't care. My dad was like a drug dealer back in the day. Then he turned into the gold business. My dad was that guy, and he let everybody know. Like, he spoiled the shit out of me. So with men, it was always like, my daddy could do that for me. Fuck you.
Absolutely.
So I always went back. I'm like, I'll go to my dad. I don't need shit from you. I got into a fight with dude. Who would I call? My dad. Yo, I just got into a fight with this dude. I broke a window. Come fix this window. My dad was here in 2.5 seconds. So that's why I no dude could ever. There's no money a guy can show me. There's no cars. There's no vacation that they can like throw in my face, because my daddy did that for me already.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, it's certain things I let my daughter be around. Like, I remember being in South Africa, and like, we didn't bring my nanny with me, so I took her to a dinner with me, and it was a dinner with like, Ed Sheeran, who's a good friend of mine, and Stormzy, and like, we were just all sitting around kicking it, and and to her mind, it's so funny because I saw her. I don't really let her have her phone too much, but I saw her text one of her friends, and she was like, her friend was like, "What'd you do? What'd you do in Africa?" And she's like, "Nothing. We went to a concert, and had dinner with Ed Sheeran." And her friend would just spit all of these big eyes and stuff like that, and my daughter was like, "What's the big deal?" And she was like, "That's Ed Sheeran." And my daughter was like, "That's my daddy's friend." Like, so that's regular to her. Yes. You know what I mean?
And so nothing's gonna impress her. So we're gonna go into what I call unsolicited advice, is where I give people advice sometimes when they ask me, sometimes when they don't. Cause I just like to give people advice regardless. I'm too opinionated. But I told Wax I was gonna bring him in for this one. Baby, did he go fishing?
Tell him don't make her call you again.
Baby,
what, you got a lake in the backyard?
Yeah, we got the boat. The boat should be getting dropped in today.
Wow.
I know. Has he showed you what he's been doing?
I haven't seen the boat lately. I saw it when he first got it.
Man, when he first got, it was rough. But now he's a whole carpenter. He a boat builder, okay? Call him Noah. He got the ark.
He got the boat, right? The boat is it nice?
It's a 24-foot pontoon.
Wow.
That's all that he put all new. He's basically a build-a-boat. You know, Build-A-Bear? He built a boat. He got the motor from one place, seats from junkyards, and built everything himself. Like, it's crazy how like his imagination just kind of went. And he's just out there cutting wood and doing all kinds of crazy things. But it's dope seeing him like do stuff like that.
Once he smoke his sativa,
boy,
imagination through the roof.
When he starts talking, I just be like, I don't pay attention to him sometimes. I'm like, all right, just let him talk. Because he's talking to himself kind of in a way. So I'm like, I'll let him go. I think he went fishing. Yeah, he just goes to the backyard and goes and catches fish and he don't bring him home, but I don't know where he went. All right, so let's go in without him. Screw him. So this one goes like so. It says, Carla, I don't want my side piece to get a girlfriend. These girls. Sometimes I'd be like, come on, we got to grow up. It says, yeah, I know it's selfish, but I never even thought I'd be in a situation with a side. It wasn't planned. I love my boyfriend very much, but he works so much. Oh, he just answered me. Hold on. Where are you at? He literally ran away. He's never inside the house either.
He can hear you yelling?
I text him.
Oh.
He's in the yard. Come. Oh, he's in the yard. Yeah, he doesn't spend time inside the house. Unless like it's time for us to go to bed or I'm cooking and we're eating. He's in the shed, in the backyard with the boat or fishing. So he's the
outdoorsman.
He's definitely an outdoors guy. Let me see what he's saying. Oh, come on, babe.
What's your shirt say? Tacos and what?
Cervezas.
Oh, what is that?
Beer.
Oh. Congratulations, man.
What's up? What happened?
You ain't tell me she was pregnant?
Yo.
Why you ain't tell? I ain't know yet either. Somebody tell me, listen, you know my story thing.
We're gonna have to use this one. We're gonna have to use this one because I don't have the SD card on there. Actually, I can put it in real quick. Let me see. Put you on your own track. I was telling him about the boat. You haven't shown him the last of the boat?
Oh, nah. Yeah, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it up.
I told him it's build a boat.
Yeah, definitely. It's dope, too, man. I'm about to put a projector on there so people can
projector?
Yeah, I'm about to put a projector because of the way I have the bimini. I got to pull the projector down. Dope.
Oh, that's hard.
The sativa, where it took him. We just said that, right?
Exactly.
I'm a mind. That's what I do. You give me time to think. Shit. Like, she about to have a whole different house.
He wants to put a second story, expand my room, all himself. Okay, but Bob the Builder.
That type of stuff is easy for me. I just can't sit down on the fucking computer. I can't even turn the computer on, but I can do that.
Y'all, if you do that, you gotta get married. No, for real. If you start adding on their house, you gotta get married, yo.
He cleaned up. He cleans the yard.
I mean, I'm a man. There's no way I can sit here and bum up.
He built me a bed, a planter, like a raised bed, everything at a Home Depot.
What am I supposed to do? Like, isn't that what men's supposed to do?
That's what men's supposed to do.
Yeah, if I'm with any second I'm with you, I'm supposed to try to build you.
You fix my fan.
Any second I'm with you, I'm supposed to try to upgrade you and build you, or I'm just wasting time.
Well, we're gonna
That's right.
You're doing a good job, baby. Good job.
Oh, that's so cute.
I can't. All right, we're gonna get this good advice. Actually, it's one of the girls from Instagram. They be saying, come on, I'm tired of you. I've been high for like 8 weeks straight, Charlamagne. I don't smoke. I don't smoke.
You getting a contact?
No, he makes me like, now he blows it in my mouth, then he blows it in my face, and now he like made me start smoking. I'm like, I'm so tired of this.
Shut up, you and me, nigga. You ain't got no job. I mean, I get what time it is, all right, so come on, come rock with me.
Jesus, I ain't got no job. I do have a job.
You got a job, but yeah, me.
All right, so it says.
Y'all at home.
Yeah, we are.
And today Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And it's your birthday.
And it's my birthday.
Hey. All days thing is coming. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to figure everything out.
No, seriously, everything fell into place because you chose the date, Charlamagne. I didn't choose this date. So for you to choose my birthday for this to happen was dope.
That's dope.
All right, really quick. So it goes, I started with Carla. I don't want my side fish to get a girlfriend. I know it's selfish, but I never even thought I'd be in a situation with a side nigga. It wasn't planned. I love my boyfriend very much. Very much. But he works so much. We could have planned an evening and boom, overtime. We could have planned. Come on, stop doing that. What's worse is he volunteers for the overtime. Plus my work schedule and his don't exactly align. I got weak when we were going through it and slept with this guy. At first, it was just physical, but then it turned into more. We started having sleepovers. He cooks for me. He listens. I can't ever date him because my judgmental family won't accept him. He has tattoos all over and he has a kid. Plus, my boyfriend makes more money than him. He was fine with being my side nigga. We had a good schedule. He kept going on dates, trying to find his own girlfriend, which I was fine with. We always agreed that once he finds someone serious, we'll stop. But there's this chick he met and they hit it off. I even pushed him to her to get a real chance because I want him to be happy. But now everything is about her. And it's annoying. It dawned on me for the last 6 months. I had 2 boyfriends. What one lacks, the other one has. He wasn't just my side, but now he barely texts me or calls me anymore. I even had to initiate hookups. I can tell the talk is coming. The talk about him having a girlfriend and having to end it. I know I'm selfish, but I wish that she would just leave him. I don't even know what to tell her.
I know that girl got a yeast infection and she don't know why, but I could tell you why. It's because you sleeping with 2 different men and you got all that different bacteria in you. You nasty. He's sleeping with people. You sleeping with people. Like, oh, that's gross, yo.
Who are you? And guess what? That's why the other girl pussy better. He left her ass. Now he
because he was only one girl?
Yeah, he only want one girl. He ain't even smashing her no more. And she's available and she want to give it to him. So the other girl pussy must be way better.
You know what I think?
You out here smashing all these other guys for what? That sucks.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think girls realize, like, if you got a man, like, if a guy know you got a man, he not gonna ever be into you. He look at you like a smut. He like, I'm smashing somebody else's girl. Like, he not looking at you with respect. He looking at you like, yo, you disloyal as hell anyway. So I'm not gonna ever wife you up.
Never.
I wanted to read this on my both of y'all because I think we're in an era where I think people confuse this whole sexual liberation with insecurities and just thinking it's cool or making it the new cool thing. And in my opinions, which is my podcast, so I say what the fuck I want, I don't think it's cool to have multiple dudes. I think that you're watering yourself down and you're not allowing yourself to have a real connection with anybody.
Absolutely.
So it's like you're looking on, this one makes more money, so I'm gonna stay with him. What's money gonna do? You can have all the money in the world. Like I was just telling him, and then literally, like, was it yesterday? Me boohoo crying. I hadn't stopped crying for like 3 days. My hormones emo. He told me to stop crying, but I was crying to him. I said, "How can I come off my most successful month ever and see money that I never thought I would see, and still like feel a certain type of way and it's about certain things that are going on in my life?" And I'm like, money doesn't buy happiness, and I've been trying to like beat this into people. So money's not going to buy it for you, their job. So just because this one person has one thing, the other one has another one, what do you have? She seems empty to me.
Yeah, and even when you talk about, like, a lot of women think that they got to be with a guy with money, and they say, because I want security. That ain't really the security you want. Like, when we talk about a man being able to protect and provide, like, that protection, that's security, that emotional protection, that knowing that you got somebody that got your back, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got your back 100%, you know? Like somebody that's gonna protect your heart, that's gonna hold you, that's just gonna let you know, rub you on your back and say, baby, things gonna be okay. That's real security. That's real protection, not financial. At the end of the day,
that's security.
Yeah, I mean, and even if how many girls we don't see out here dating guys that have all this money, they can leave you.
Oh, they are, and they will, and they do.
And they will.
They cannot just leave it. They can die the next day, and you get left with nothing. So it's not even like left you, cheated on you. Death is really real. It can happen to us at any time. So the money's not gonna hold you back. And then now what you gonna do?
100%.
So I brought that one up just because at the end of the day, I to hear from both of y'all, and this, I think some people think that it's like a misogyny thing. Oh, dudes just think that they can be whores and women can't. Y'all being whores also doesn't give you fulfillment.
Nah. That's a waste of time.
All the time. How many times you kill me?
All the time, because he's nasty.
I'm about to get disease just to get me out the game.
Because he was nasty. But listen, we all go through that, right? Was. But then you realize, like, I think even now when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, yo, it's like when you eat some bullshit, you're like, damn, why'd I eat that?
The chips, when you be saying about the chips.
For no reason.
He said he's making a bag of potato chips instead of a whole meal.
For no reason. I was even sitting around the other day trying to think, like, I don't know why. I was like, yo, I really was sleeping with a bunch of girls for no goddamn
reason.
And can't even remember what they look like now. I can't remember what you look like naked. I'm like,
y'all sound like you start listening to y'all at the same time and talking to the same, because I've spent so much time with him. He says that all the time. He's like, I don't even remember who they were, what they looked like, what it felt like.
I'm dead serious. I don't remember nothing. I know they was cool. I know some cool people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just don't remember anything sexually or physically about them. It's just like, oh, that's something that we did. But I feel
never remember that bag of chips, but I remember that steak that was juicy.
Word up. Absolutely. 100%. It's soul food. Stick to your ribs. Your grandma cooking. Like, that shit you need. Like, oh, I need this. This is fulfilling.
No, it is. And and some girls are like, it's coming. So ladies, if you're listening, it's coming from two men. They're very similar, but yet very different. And it doesn't matter if you're getting smashed. Like, sex is sex. Like, sex doesn't mean that there's a connection. You're actually giving them your energy, and you're giving them energy. You're being very susceptible to a disease, and then they're just gonna go to the person that they really fuck with. Their soul food when you're just their little side thing.
I promise you, every girl that I had sex with in the past, like, I'm cool with some of them because of the conversations that we had and the things we talked about. That's the stuff I remember. I don't remember what your pussy felt like at all.
Hell no.
I just don't. I'm being honest. And that's not a diss to them. It's just that it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything after the fact.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
As soon as I got that munchie feeling out, it was over.
I love chips, but then once it's done, it's done.
And I'm not gonna survive off chips either.
You're not gonna survive off chips. And eventually, them chips will start to be bad for you.
Yes.
Yeah, they really do. So there's just one more that I usually talk a little shit about. It is my shit talk. And has anything happened recently, like, to you that you would say, like, I want to talk a little shit about this? The only thing that I have to say, and it'll be like super quick, today is my birthday. So you posted the meme, and everybody else in the mama posted the meme. I've been getting it in my DMs. Oh, it's Cinco de Mayo. It's Taco Tuesday. Like, there's all these things going on. And then it's like, oh, it is your birthday. I'm so sorry.
Well, nobody told you to be born on Cinco de Mayo.
Listen, I couldn't stop when my parents fucked. I didn't tell them when to do it.
But that's even better, though, because you get to celebrate double. That's a double celebration.
How?
Because you get to go out on Cinco de Mayo, have the tequila, have the tacos, you know what I'm saying? Like, and celebrate your born day.
But we're on a regular Cinco de Mayo. I love. It's free drinks, free food all day because nobody really believes me. They're like, let me see your ID. Is it really? And they're like, whoa, by the time they're drunk off of tequila and they give me whatever the fuck I want.
I hate Cinco de Mayo.
Why?
Because my grandma died on Cinco de Mayo.
Shit. Way to bring it down there, Charlamagne. Thank you.
Nah, my big mama died on Cinco de Mayo.
Just kidding. Yes. Make my birthday even worse.
No, I'm saying 2006. And it's so crazy because that's the time I wasn't drinking and shit. And I had just moved to New York and I was working with Wendy Williams. So she had got me real drunk that day off tequila. So I had my phone off and I was like I was pissy drunk. And when I got back in the car and answered, and they, getting all the messages.
Yeah.
And I just started bawling.
And that drunk cry is different.
Oh my God.
That drunk cry is so different.
You let it go. You let it go.
Let it go, man.
Yeah.
And I was with Wendy too, so I was
like, did she cry with you, bro?
No, I told her, let me out. Let me out.
Let me out.
Remember Train Boys in the Hood? Let me out, Joe.
Let me out. Let me out, Wendy.
I'm crying my ass off, yo. I walk to the bus. I walk all the way to Penn Station crying.
Stop.
For real, man. Crying on the bus, crazy, yo. And then Wendy got to call her husband. Her husband, you don't want to. I don't want to see that. That's the last nigga you want to see on some shit like that.
No, man.
Yo, you good, Joe?
I want to talk to him.
Word up. Yo, you good, Joe? You good, Joe? Nigga, don't come over here.
Yo, hit the blunt, yo.
All right.
That's all for you.
Can't get no comfort from you.
Bitch, crazy. I want that shit.
Crazy ass people.
Well, before I let you go, though, before I do, is there anything that's happened recently that pissed you off?
No, I haven't. Be honest with you, I haven't been pissed off in a long time.
Nice, I like it. That's
you know
a
what I'm saying. I haven't. Like I've been enjoying just the last month and a half just at the crib. You know what I mean? Being with the wife and the kids. You really get to protect your energy and your peace in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we too blessed to be stressed, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially when you look around and you see too many people. You see so many people dying and so many people grieving. It's just like, yo, this situation right here made you realize like really, really what's important if people didn't know what was important before.
Yes.
In a real way. So
for sure. Is there a last advice that you would give people approaching 30s or struggling with their purpose and their passion in their 30s?
Yes, I would tell them that you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look at anybody else's timetable and say, well, this person achieved this level of success in their 20s, or this person achieved this level of success at 30. Like, if you're working towards a goal, if you have a goal in mind, if you're just, pursuing a dream and you're in the position you want to be in, everything else gonna fall into place.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a matter of time.
Process.
And having a process for it. Like I said, I have certain goals, but I give myself my week's goal. Like I have my goal that where I want to be in a year. But then I said, what I'm gonna do this week, and what am I gonna finish this month, and what am I gonna finish next month? That way I can make it. Some people just think like, I want to get here, and they don't have the steps to get in there.
I tell you what, though, another thing this quarantine showed us: what the fuck is a goal? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is a plan? You can have one, but man, your good plan might not be God's plan for you. You know what I'm saying?
This whole thing around.
That's it.
And it's allowing that God's plan to work through you and being willing to shift when it's time to shift.
Absolutely.
This was a shift time. And some people they're so stuck in their ways. I had to shift. And it's like when this happened, I'm like, I have to go now left, and go with it. Like it feels uncomfortable, but just go left with what you got to do and it'll work.
Absolutely.
It'll work. And then if anything that has come out of this from last year, me going back to church after so many years, is praying. Just pray. And like I talk about how when my cousin Javier, he was like, just let God take over. And I literally said to him, I said, the fuck does that mean, bro? What do you mean let God? Like who just let God do what? Do I just not pay the bills? Do I sit here? Do I wait for somebody to touch me on my shoulder? Like what does let God mean? But it's just, take your time. Pray, figure out where you want to go, read, just don't sit still and not do anything.
And faith without works is dead. So even though,
Right.
you can pray to God and ask God for direction, you still got to go out there and hustle.
Oh, they think that he's going to come to the door and ring the doorbell.
Oh, nah. But if you
do nothing, you crazy.
That's right. And if you work, the blessing coming. Yeah. Wax, I know Wax pray with you. Wax is the praying man.
Wax prays like 10 times a day.
Yeah, all the time.
Hey, y'all have sex that much? Because he always tell me he pray over the pussy.
And after.
And no, I'm not gonna lie to you. Was it the first time? Probably the first time. Second time we had sex. Literally, we're butt naked, and he just grabs me. And he goes, "Will you pray with me?" So it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, he does it all the time. Yeah.
But he prays every morning. He prays every night. He'll be like, "Pray with me." Like we
Listen
pray
to the Bible every night. We're going to put it on Proverbs on YouTube and let it rock.
We have a dope church that I found here last year, and he started going with me. Now we watch it every Sunday here at home. So we have
That's beautiful.
I was born in the church, and I was part of the church, and I used to travel with the church, and I left because I had my issues with the church. Mm-hmm. And I knew it would take a special person or a special circumstance for me to go back. And just everything just fell into place at the right time.
Well, it's not about church though. It's about the word. It's about God. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're not there for the people. That's what took me away was the people, and they're humans, and there's hypocrites. And yes, some pastor or deacon might be fucking the secretary, but that ain't none of my business.
That's his demon.
Yeah,
and that's why they're there every Sunday. Word up. That's why he there every Sunday.
I used to tell you all the time. I said church is a hospital. If you go in the hospital and you see a bunch of people in there screaming and stuff, yeah, they in there for a reason. When people in church, they know they got the problem.
Absolutely.
In the hospital because you don't think nothing wrong with you.
Absolutely.
Like when people don't think nothing wrong with them, they ain't gonna go to church. I know something wrong with me. How do I go to church? Every city we go to, like, yo, pay my tithes or something I'm doing. Yeah. Because I know that I was one of the motherfucking fucked up people that was like, nah, I need God to bless me every step of the way. So as much as I can acknowledge him, I'm gonna go ahead and go in a place, you know what I'm saying, and have mercy.
All you can look at church is the gym. So it's just like it's just you maintaining, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Just like therapy.
Just like therapy.
I can't get him to do therapy because he thinks he got it all. And he's a good person to ask. We just did We just did Bible study real quick. I know you probably got to go, Charlotte. So we're doing Bible study, and the man's saying how as a man you should probably have someone to. Like a wise man. No, not like a wise man to go to as a man, and to be able to speak to and to relate to as a man. Do you have somebody you go to, Charlotte, to speak to? Like
several.
Yeah. He got his people, exactly.
So he's saying he don't need nobody. He's like, what do I need somebody for? For business? I got it. What do I need somebody for? I don't need nobody.
All right, so for my lanes, I told her when I was doing agriculture, I had the 2 70-year-old guys, and one of them is Cleve father. That was the lane I was in, so that's where I went to. he got plenty of people in his radio world that he looked up to. This is the lane he went. He don't know no motherfucking race car drivers that he look up to. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So in my lane is what I'm trying to tell her. For my lane, I don't know nobody to go ahead and look up to in my lane. But
we got people though, like we got like Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You say it all the time.
No, so
Minister Farrakhan.
He's saying he doesn't have to call anyone and he doesn't consult with anyone at any point in time.
You say I pray 10 times a day. I know
it
where
depends.
to put my energy into my things.
So he says it's only his prayer. He doesn't have a human form of a wise man to go to.
Well, some people are like that though. I mean, I can't knock him if has that in him. Some people don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Some people that. A lot of people need. Okay, you know how many people I could work out by myself. I could go back there and do 100, 200 pull-ups by myself. Some people, if they don't have that,
you need that motivation
with them. They ain't moving to go to the gym 2-3 months. My trainer ain't called me. My trainer having a baby. Now I got fat again. Wax. Yeah. I do 500 push-ups and I done did a whole workout in the backyard that people don't even do in the gym.
Man, his workouts are 1,000 push-ups, a bunch of pull-ups, and that. Like I wanted to work out with him. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with you?
Let's do some lunges, baby.
No, it's so dumb. He literally goes like lunges, planks. Okay, we're done. I'm still fat, nigga. Like I need to do a real workout. I gotta go run. I need to do something.
I said let's go on the field. Like right now,
he wants takes me to play football with him. I need to work out.
That's cardio though.
That's crazy cardio.
That's cardio.
He's out there with me, man.
He's just wants to throw the ball.
He's trying to go jump over the gate.
I cleared that gate, yo.
Come rock, you know what I'm saying? Come on, you gotta come get it in. You'll like it.
To your point, Deepak Chopra. I interviewed Deepak Chopra last week, and I asked him. I said, "Who does somebody like you go to?" And he said, "I go within." Oh. That's what he said. He said, "I go within." He said that like he meditates, he prays, and he goes within, and God tells him how to move. Some people are just like that.
Yeah, man, come on. That's how I always moved. Like, listen, I'm so going through my heart. Is like if somebody fuck with me, I'm gonna break your nose, but I pray for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I still got the same pure heart. I just know how to have God talk to me. I don't know. God talk to me certain ways. I don't have a person. Yeah, I don't have a person I go to and be like, oh, this guy has all the answers.
No, you have something special. Like he's felt spirits here. My grandfather died in this house. My dad's ashes are in this house, and he's felt stuff that like freak me out. Dreams that he's had, feelings that things that he's heard. I'm like, what the fuck?
And also, bro. Both urns is like if I look up in the bed, they both over my head.
That's
you
crazy.
Know what I'm saying? I'm just like
so you can't smash too crazy. They might fall.
You know how many times I'm smashing and I look to the right and I see the urns, both of them looking at me, man.
Whoa. Whoa.
Both. Listen, they right here now. Right here.
Oh, you moved them? Oh, word.
You switched the room, so right now he's moving. Yo, bro, every time I'm like, yo, bro, you pop in your grandfather is right here.
But my dad smashed somebody so much, like, it don't even matter. Anywho, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any
Carla, thank you.
Thank you. Like, this is something I know you had to take your time, so I really do appreciate it. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, I don't have nothing I want to announce right now, though, but soon. Real soon. Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Exciting. Well, again, thank you so much, and I truly appreciate you coming on.
Carla, appreciate you. Wax, my brother.
Love.
So sweet.